go. Hello, everybody out there. This is Tammy, Texas Desert Rose here. And I always say this at the beginning of most recordings, but so excited about today because I have someone who's didn't start out to be not an enemy, didn't start out to be a friend. I can definitely call her a friend now. Here we have Miss Connie Jo. Hello, Connie Jo.
Hello, I'm so proud to be your friend because you are absolutely fabulous.
Will you spread the word? But no, I'm just kidding.
Yes, I will.
So let me tell you, we don't have a set topic because Connie, like me, is uh, beautifully willing to let this just kind of unfold as it will. And but let me start out by saying, you guys, some of you watching who will watch this will recognize Connie. Connie is one of my first persons that I trusted to do an astrology reading for me. So she is a professional, and I'll let her give her credentials on what all areas, because there's probably so many that she specializes in. But it took a lot because probably something you relate to, Connie Jo. I was raised beside my precious grandmother, who's now one of my spirit guides, uh, in a Pentecostal church. Where, you better not wear pants, you better not watch TV, you better not go to the movie theater, you better not wear makeup, you better not cut your hair. I've kind of broken those rules. But literally, my grandmother would have rolled over in her grave, so to speak, when she was on the earth if she knew that I had done something like that. And
Yeah,
now she's so on board with that. She's so on board.
I love it.
So Connie Jo is one of the first gentle squishes that, and I mean that in the most respectful way, who gave me a reading and helped me come away going, wow, this feels really good. There's a reason for so many of this stuff. There is, and it was just amazing to me to the point where some of you already know I do readings now myself, nowhere near the experience that Connie Jo has. But the reason why I wanted Jo to come on, and for many reasons, is I wanted you to see and experience a real live astrology reader, amongst other things, who who is everyday, an everyday person that is just comfortable. Um, and it feels like you're just hanging out having coffee or tea with your friend, and she's helping you to understand stuff. So, welcome, Connie Jo.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. I love all astrology. But I think my favorites are synastry, which is putting one person's chart with another person's chart. It can be a love interest, it can be your daughter, your son, your mother, your father, your business partner, and seeing how the two of you, your charts interact. But I love the natal chart readings because you can see things in there that actually validate a person's life experience. And I think that is the most lovely part of it, that when they've gone through something like sexual abuse or physical abuse or emotional abuse, or they've gone through rejection or some really hard things, that you can see it in the natal chart, but you can also see that there's hope and a way to change it.
So, to help our audience, many who have not passed, the person in the wizard cap or the crystal ball, they don't really know the different charts. You want to explain what a natal chart is, and you explain this.
Absolutely. I love this part of it because the natal chart is just a snapshot of all the planets the minute we are born.
As
And
close to the minute as you can get.
yes, and what's so cool, this is how I explain. All right, so my husband is very supportive, but he is really not into astrology. So this is how I explain it to him. Like Venus was in the sky next to the moon. I said, look, Glenn, that moon is actually conjunct or exactly with Venus right now. I said, if someone were born right this minute, they would have Venus conjunct or right next to the moon in the natal chart. And another time was really cool when he was like, he loves the moon. He was looking at the moon. It was over here. It was actually in the east. And he said, look at the little moon. It's like that little thumbnail. I said, I know it's a new moon. It's where the sun is rising. So if it's a full moon, it's on the other side of the sky. So there's so much to it. But the natal chart shows what was happening the minute we were born. And it sets our personality, what we like, what we don't like, what I believe we agreed to before we entered the planet. Because I am an evolutionary astrologer. I do believe in
Same.
past lives.
And that we are, I don't want to say righting those wrongs because I think karma's a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
So much. That's a whole nother well we could jump into. And speaking of wells, it seems like the more I learn, and I've been studying 3 or 4 years, but hardcore the last year and a half. And when I say hardcore, it's like I don't watch TV, I watch YouTube. Constantly learning. I'm picky about who I learn from, all of that. But no matter how much I learn, I can't ever get to the bottom.
Oh, no. And I don't think you ever will because astrology is a bottomless well. It's like today I did a video of medical astrology. There are so many facets to astrology, and there's progress charts, and there's solar returns, and there's all of this thing. I mean, I am positive that I haven't even scratched the surface yet, and I've been doing this for a long time.
How long have you been doing it, Connie Jo? Because I want people to be able to reach out to you if they want to get some of your wonderful, comfortable persona to show them how theirs
Oh,
works.
I have been doing this. Well, I was interested in astrology since I was a little girl. And then the church stepped in, religion stepped in.
Okay. Similar to
Through
mine, huh?
Yeah, through my mother, through my family.
Hmm.
And astrology was not, it was forbidden. I'm from the Bible Belt. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh,
So,
yes, you are.
so, but I picked it up again and I've been seriously doing astrology for over 20 years. And the one thing I want people that get a reading with me to do is to walk away or come away from that meeting, Tammy, with something positive. I don't
Right.
want to leave. I'm not the type of reader that's going to leave you with negativity. I mean, some things are negative. That's life, right? But I don't want
It wouldn't be
anybody,
believable otherwise.
right? I just don't want anybody to walk away feeling negative or feeling down about themselves.
Sure. I don't think that's possible with the way you come across because it feels
Oh,
like, you're kind of a hug. Even the times whenever I've heard stuff that really concerned me or it wasn't how I wanted things to go, because like you said, that's life.
yeah.
And as a Capricorn sun, if you gave me only good news, I wouldn't trust you.
Oh my goodness, neither would I. I mean, you and I are both Capricorn suns, so we both, that's ruled by Saturn, the planet of restriction. You know what, though? Here's
Mhm.
the good thing. To all the Capricorns out there, I just want to say this. We are the Benjamin Buttons of the zodiac. So we
Yeah,
might
y'all,
have,
I'm really 75 years old.
yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people going, okay, we went to your high school reunion. No. No.
But the truth is, it's almost like that is the one joy of being a Capricorn is that you kind of age backwards. You kind of get younger as you get older, which
I
is
act younger as I get
really nice.
older.
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have more fun. And I don't want to make you do a whole lot of astrology talk because that's a lot of what you do. But can you I'm trying to figure out a simple way of saying why Saturn, because it governs time, right?
Yeah.
And so
It
I
does.
felt like I was born old.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some wisdom that comes with Saturn too, but it is restrictive. And it's almost like if you have a Capricorn, if you have planets in Capricorn, period, and we're looking at all the planets, or the South Node in Capricorn in particular, it's almost like you come into this world with the mentality, I've got to work hard, I've got to be responsible, nothing is easy.
Yeah. I automatically do that.
Yeah,
But
me too.
something that it's developed in me, and you don't have to be a Capricorn to be this way, right? Actually,
Right.
Aquarius is also, right, historically also ruled by Saturn.
Yeah.
But everybody's got Capricorn somewhere in your chart
Yeah,
because you've got all the
exactly.
signs.
Yes.
And what I noticed was because I always worked harder instead of smarter until I learned to do better, and some of the struggles and the crises and the stuff we go through, I have learned how to not wait until I'm joyful to laugh. I laugh until I'm joyful. And I would not have learned that without the struggle.
That is so good though, Tammy.
Most
Truly.
days. Most
Yeah,
days. There are
right.
some days
Most
that I
days. But people, some people poo-poo astrology. Um,
just,
but it's almost like I wouldn't argue with anybody about it.
yeah.
But I would say to them, look at the moon. The moon rules the water. I live in Florida. It with the worst hurricanes have been during a full moon, and we are what, over 90% water. So how can we not think that the planets don't affect us? All
That's
of
that was my answer for the longest time. I didn't even know about sect and night chart versus day chart. And the night
it.
chart,
Yeah,
I'm so affected by the moon. And we just went through what the is it the solar on Sunday, the eclipse, and then we've got
yeah.
lunar coming or vice versa. I don't know, but
I think it's
no,
vice
is it's
versa,
been
but
intense
yes, these eclipses that are coming out that
very intense.
affect everybody. It's it's like the outer planets, Tammy, I think, like if we, so these are planets that are not visible with the naked eye that were found the most recently. So we have Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune, and they affect world events. So that's one thing I'm not a mundane astrologer, but I like more personal astrology. But
Yeah.
if you look at like for instance, the US, okay, I don't know why I'm bringing this up. I feel like spirit's leading me in this direction.
Yep.
But
Go
the
with it.
US is about to experience I think their third Uranus return. And for anybody that doesn't know, this is when transiting, there's a chart, a natal chart for the US. Guess what? July 4th, 1776, it was set up. So it has the sun in Cancer, but Uranus takes 84 years approximately to go around the zodiac. When it actually reaches the natal point again, it's called the Uranus return. And
Big.
what's crazy is every time Uranus has made its return in the US chart, there has been a war. Now, like I said, I'm not political, I'm not a mundane astrologer, but it's so interesting how these outer planets affect us as a collective, as a whole, not just us in a personal way.
And
What do
not
you
in
think
a
about
doomsday
that?
way. It's a shifting and turning of the tides. Things are being learned. And if we don't learn, guess what? It gets amped
You
up more.
repeat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what happens with karmic astrology as well when we feel like we're, what is it called? The definition of insanity when you do the same thing over and over again, but it doesn't work, you
And
know?
different results. Yep. That
Yeah.
step
It's,
saying.
so it's kind of like that. We repeat patterns until we
Maybe this
learn
time will be different. Lord knows I've done
exactly.
that personally.
Me too. Me too.
Maybe this time I can trust them. Maybe.
Man, oh, I know. It'll be different, Tammy. It'll be different this time. That's what they all say. And is it different? No, it's not.
Well, I can tell you point blank, everybody, that Connie Joe doesn't do that. If you say, this is what I'm hoping. Nope, no, I hate to tell you that. No,
Oh my gosh, I love you,
and
Tammy.
she's a little more gentle than that. Huh?
I am more subtle than that, but I do say, well,
You are so.
probably not.
Yeah. And then what it is that I'm already picking up on your vibe. And it's like, oh, so you don't usually
Do,
have to say it.
do your listeners know how very intuitive you are?
I don't even know.
I do. Tammy is
Yeah.
so incredibly intuitive, everybody. I mean, I just want to say that she she knows things. So be careful. She knows things.
The good news is my naivete, my Neptune in Pisces goes, don't see it. No, put the blinders up.
Exactly. Exactly. And
But
you,
the problem is my Saturn's right there too. And so it goes, mm-mm, you don't get to ignore this anymore. So,
yeah, you have to see it anyway.
yeah.
But it's funny to me because Neptune, everybody, is the planet of no boundaries. And it can be so incredibly intuitive and beautiful. And it is the planet of unconditional love, but it is a planet that can bring deception. So a lot of times if you're looking at a chart and someone has a ton of Neptune, they're very intuitive, but they can also be a little bit self-deceptive as well and have issues with boundaries.
Hence the maybe I can trust on this time. They've hurt me
Yeah,
physically other times, but maybe this time. What I didn't realize is that wherever you have that Neptune, correct me if I'm wrong, because you definitely know a lot more about it than I do, but wherever you have that Neptune, that can also be not only an area where you get deceived, but you could be deceitful with that. Or also,
yeah.
you get to play other roles on the stage. I noticed that really serves me on stage, singing or performing or whatever.
You're
So,
absolutely right. I mean, Neptune, especially when it's connected with Mercury or the moon, that's like the actor's aspects, where you're able to actually be someone else, get on the stage and be whoever, Tamara Terrell, woof, Barres
or
Singer,
Tammy Lynn, I can be who I want.
you can be anybody you want. Exactly. And that is one of the beauties, I think, of Neptune being able to do that. But don't you kind of have to watch it too, that you don't deceive yourself?
Oh, you would not believe. You would not believe. I know you've heard all the stories, but the stories I could tell you about the money I have lost
Oh,
because of
yeah,
that. It's in Pisces
yeah,
with Chiron rune in Pisces right there next to it. And so it's like, yeah, and it triggers my fourth house of home as well. And Neptune's also known for no boundaries with substances, right? And alcoholism
yeah.
and addiction is throughout my ancestral family everywhere, everywhere. So we quote unquote joke that, we have instead of a black sheep, we've got a few white sheep. But that's really, I don't say that anymore because I don't believe I don't want to degrade someone who battles and has battled addiction. But
I do know, and I don't. it's hard for me to believe in this day and time, Tammy, that there's anyone that hasn't had addiction touch their life in some way.
Right?
And, and that you're right, that's very Neptunian. It's very Piscean, wanting to escape. And I think we all want to escape occasionally, quite honestly. But
Oh,
that
sure.
doesn't mean you have to take it to, don't get me wrong. I have seen a lot of addiction and it's been very close to my personal life as well.
Sure.
But I think it's very hard to tell the difference when you're in that space, that you're deceiving yourself, that you're escaping, that you're doing this, you're doing that, because
Sure.
all you want is the drink or the drug, or,
Right.
or to spend more money, or to eat more food. Addiction takes all forms,
Have more
right?
sex.
Oh, oh yeah.
I eat Capricorn.
The horny goat. Dadgummit. I
Corn goat. Okay, that too. Yeah, it is. And I think the definition to go into more of the clinical side is at what point is it considered to be addiction? Because enjoyment goes over to addiction so easy. Why I can't keep a Diet Coke in my house. Why I have to only have dark chocolate, 80% cacao in my house
uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
because I don't know the boundaries there, you know? Why have
I
to
love
swear
that
when I can
though.
have, huh?
That's so honest. I mean, truly it is. It's
That
like,
sounds
yeah.
ridiculous, but my Diet Coke, that's my drug of choice.
Do you know that's so funny because I gave up Diet Coke this year.
Oh, it's so
I
hard.
did.
I've given
And
it up a lot of times, Connie Joe. Don't show off. I've given it up 50 times.
right? I know, I understand. I really do.
And I
It's
can even tell you what my trigger is to that. Like, why Diet Coke? Well, there's a trauma. Talk about getting real and honest.
yeah.
The trauma of when me and my family left my dad, God rest his soul, and we'd gotten the call from my dear grandmother, his mother, that he was on a drunken rage because he'd been drinking, it was whiskey or something, or tequila, something massive, probably tequila. And he was on a rage, and then we had to get our stuff and get out because he was coming home, and we had to steal away in the middle of the night, age 11 years old. Well, we had to hide from him for like a year. And you guys, anybody wondering, we've made peace. My dad is one of my guides as well. He died at age 43 of cirrhosis, but I've made peace with that, done a lot of work on it. But that summer, as soon as we got settled in our own place, mom, brothers, myself, I discovered Dr. Pepper and one drink and the carbonation and the sugar, and I forget everything. So that
Yeah.
dopamine connection to me was felt just like doing a line of Coke or something. Not that I've done that,
Yeah.
but it's the same feeling. It hits the same part of the brain. I
Yeah.
switched over to diet because I would drink a 6 pack a day easily. Some of you out there relate to this, but that is that same dopamine rush. And so that is addiction for me. Yeah.
No, I totally understand because I don't have that deep of connection to the Diet Coke. Or
Mhm.
maybe I did. Look, it was my hangover drink. It's like if I drank too much over the weekend, that's exactly what I wanted, my Diet Coke. I had to have my Diet
Interesting.
Coke.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what it did for the brain, but that's just my nerdiness coming out.
I don't know. Ain't that crazy? Do
Did
you,
you find that when you stopped, and it's okay if you don't want to share this, but when you stopped drinking Diet Coke, did you switch over to something else, even if it
I
wasn't
did.
something to drink?
I did.
Because
I
usually
actually
that's how you
just
stay off of it.
I switched over just to plain unsweetened tea.
Okay. That's my plan. That's my plan, and I've done that before, and it's so good for the body. So, so good
It's
for the skin.
better for the body than Diet Coke. I would
It's
agree
really
with.
good for almost everything with the body. You just have to watch it with caffeine and kidneys, but it's
Yeah,
actually so much research. Japanese, I came from Okinawa. They are almost all tea, usually green tea, but they use all the teas.
yeah.
Um, Dandelion tea, amazing. So the teas, even the Texas tea, unsweetened, is absolutely, you went from something that's horrible for you. I can speak to that, um, into something that is so good for you and your brain and all of that.
It- and I don't miss it now. I did at
Oh, no.
first, but I really don't miss it now. Tammy, do you think your listeners understand their guides or how to connect with or what our guides even are?
I would be willing to guess a small percentage. A small percentage. Do you want to share more about
I kind
that?
of do. It's like,
I like
so
that.
if So our guides are ascended, which just means spirits that are here to guide us into more wisdom in our life. They're part of our intuition. They're someone we can speak to, someone we can ask for help with, you know, and it can be like for Tammy, it's some of her ancestors that have come in to be her guides. I think it can be anyone. It doesn't even have to be someone you knew on this earth. But
True.
I think people complicate it because to
Our
me,
our earth mind gets in the way.
yeah, but you can almost just say, you know, I do believe I have guides. Would you give me your names or introduce yourself or give me a sign and enjoy it? Enjoy the connection with that spiritual, wise soul that's giving you direction here on earth.
And you're not kidding. My
Mm,
understanding is, correct me, Connie, if you have a different understanding, is that they don't interfere in your life without you requesting for them to assist you.
agreed.
Unless I think they can get involved with danger.
Yeah, but I
I'm much
don't.
closer to my dad now. I can tell you right now.
And isn't
Much,
that
much
beautiful? Oh my God, that is so beautiful. And no, I don't think they interfere with free will. Like
correct.
if you are bound and determined to go out with someone that your guides are like, you might feel it in your soul or in your spirit or have that little intuition tap in your belly, but they're not going to intervene. Agreed.
Well, I would imagine they love us that much that if we're that intentional, then there's things that we still need to learn.
Yeah,
That's
I
how I
agree
explain it in my mind anyway.
100%.
Yeah.
So Tammy, what do you think about angels?
Well, to me, there's like different levels, but really it all feels the same to me, which is my Jupiter is in my 12th house. It lives with what's the other one? Not whole house, but
Placidus?
Placidus. It's in my 12th house. So I have this overwhelming feeling of protection,
Yeah. That
and
is so
so
beautiful.
I love that. And you guys, Jupiter expands what it touches. So we all hopefully have that feeling of being protected. But with Jupiter in there, it's like on blast, big time.
Yeah,
Like I go into the dangerous countries. I will run up the tower when it's not good for me because I have this feeling of being protected. Because the same
that
house,
is,
12th house is self-undoing. So
yeah, well, true. But that is so beautiful because I do believe that we're born with a guardian angel and that we do have other angels that come in to protect us. But here's the difference between the angels and our guides. I think we can ask the angels to bring us protection along with our guides, and that
thank you for
they
that. I skipped that question. My apologies. Yeah.
no, wow, don't apologize. No, but I just think that we can ask for assistance from the angels. And everybody, just so you know, I do believe in God, a higher power,
Mm.
Allah, universe. I had a friend that called him Gus. Um,
Because that's what he
yeah,
needed to personalize him.
it was God, universe, and what was the S for? Spirit. God,
Oh, God,
universe, and
universe, and
spirit.
spirit. I like it.
So she called him Gus. And I just
Oh,
thought
she
that
did.
was so cute
I
that
like
she
that.
that she combined it. But really it's that higher power that maybe because they use that in 12-step programs, I'm
Mhm.
not saying that correctly. It's not that focused. It's more whatever you believe in. Yeah.
You know, Connie, a lot of listeners know that I've done a lot of overseas travel. And the very most powerful thing about that that I miss so much is that every country, I think I covered just about every region. Every country I lived in had a different religion or a different name for the deity
Yeah.
that they worshiped, and that really opened because what I discovered is that I still felt the same. When I would go into the mosque, I felt that beautiful, overwhelming spirit feeling as I felt when I was standing beside my grandmother and aunt singing in church as a kid, and or the Buddhist temple, or I mean, like, and I know, and also all of the chapels um, in Europe. It was the same feeling. Help me to understand that if it's
Oh my
not.
God, that is so incredible. But the only way that I could even come close to explaining that, because you've had way more experiences than I have, but is being by the ocean, being in the woods, climbing up a mountain, looking at nature, and just feeling that connection
Mm,
with the creator. You know, um,
it's
it
beautiful.
really doesn't matter what you believe. But I do want to say this. I feel like I'm supposed to, so I'm gonna.
Go
Is
for it.
that I told someone very close to me one time, I said, it's very arrogant to believe that your way is the only way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, the universe gets to be blessed by the fact that we're now of the age that not only have we seen and experienced, but we're not filtering.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean, so are you telling me that you can do your psychic readings, you can do your astrology readings and still believe in God?
I
And God still loves you.
am. Most definitely.
Gus can still love you. In fact,
I'm still,
she does.
she
So
does. I'm still very loved and feel very loved. And I think even Tammy, when we're our most destitute, that there's still that tiny, tiny part of us that knows there's something bigger than we are, and I do realize that some people are unable to access that. I get it. I think we've all kind of had a dark night of the soul moment where we
if you're
felt,
lucky, just one. But yeah,
yeah, kind of deserted. But the good news is it doesn't change anything in the universe. It's still there.
I like that poster or visual. I'm sure just about everybody's seen it of the universe and this tiny little X that says, "You are here."
Yeah,
Puts it in perspective, really puts it in perspective. So
absolutely. It does put it in perspective. Tammy, can I tell you something? Okay,
please.
so
She's so
I've been,
cute, isn't she? She gets so excited.
oh, I get really excited about astrology, especially.
I
So
love
because
it.
because I know it's real. So I've been going through some medical issues, and I won't go through all of those here, but you know, I was noticing that some of the transits I had kind of reflected these medical issues that I was having. Anyway, I just felt like the universe conveyed to me that my guide said, when you think about someone or when you're sending an email, you know how you search for an email and other people's names will come up first? Or
Yeah.
or you're looking at notes you made and you look back and you had somebody's name in there, or you're just simply in the shower and all of a sudden you think of a person. It doesn't
No
matter.
accidents.
There's no act. So what I felt like spirit was telling me was that we're all connected. Universe, we're all connected in some way. We're all connected. So when someone comes up in your heart and your mind and you say their name, if you just send out a simple positive affirmation to them or prayer, however you want to word it, I don't care. But
Particularly those that you really don't want to talk to.
yeah, those two.
Mhm.
That you're actually helping to raise the vibration. Yes, that sounds woo-woo, but but the
It's been
raising the vibe.
proven though. Look at the evidence behind essential oils and everything else. I mean, it's proven. It's
Yeah,
not just woo-woo. We believe it has been proven.
but isn't it all about love? So if we learn to kind of look, I know what some of you out there are thinking. Well, you probably haven't gone through what I have. You know what? No, I might not have, but I've gone through my own stuff.
Quite a
So
bit, actually.
So, what I'm trying to say is, if we can think of something positive to send into the universe when that name comes to our mind or in our heart, or we see it or whatever, and we did that every time, wouldn't that bring more love to the universe? I mean, I sound like Miss Pisces World Peace here, which is really not my personality, but I do feel like, Timmy,
I
that the
love that.
universe was really trying to show me something with that.
Absolutely. And you're listening. You're listening to.
Yeah, I was
So it
listening.
sounds like, in many ways, what you're saying is that if something comes up in your mind, trust it. If
Yeah,
you think of someone and they immediately text or call, trust it. Our spirit guides are always working in our behalf, always. If we need to stay connected or we need to connect, it's always in our behalf. And if, for those of you who are struggling, waiting for that person to call who hasn't called, maybe that's for a purpose as well. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
yeah.
I had to really get still. I hated that when I was like, you've got to get rid of the noise in your head. And I'm like, I'm as quiet as I can be. But the truth is, my innards, as they say here in Texas, my innards weren't quiet. They weren't
Yeah,
quiet. And
and I
when
get
with some
that.
time they got quiet, and now I'm like, okay, where did that come from? You know?
Well, you know what? All right, I saw this Oprah show one time,
Mm,
and it was really about intuition. But
mm.
the guy out there had written this book about, I don't remember what it was called because I'd give him a shout out. And I think it was pretty cool, but it was about trusting the fear. So if like just so you're going into the grocery store, but something tells you don't park here, or something tells you wait 5 minutes before you leave, or what, just these simple things, if we'll trust in that, especially if it brings kind of that fear. I mean, I've done that so many times because I wanted something else to happen. I wanted another result and I didn't trust in it and I didn't get the result I wanted.
But you had more awareness after that.
Now I do have,
You
or
see it.
if you're like, all right, you want to spend a weekend away with your partner, right? And you can't wait. it's like, oh, time to go. And you're leaving your kids with a babysitter, and something in tells you inside you just keeps saying, you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach, like, don't do it. No, don't do it. You don't need to leave them here. You don't need to leave them here. You don't need to leave them here. Listen to that.
There's a book called The Gift of Fear. You
That's it. That's the
okay.
book, Tammy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that thick, you guys, and it's worth the purchase. I couldn't tell you who it's by. Do you
I
know,
couldn't
Connie?
either.
And it talks about all the gifts that fear brings.
Yes.
That's a good example you just gave. Like that is your, in my belief, I think yours too. That's your spirit guides getting your attention.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like they're trying to tell you, or, this can be as simple as going to work and you kind of feel this tug in your spirit to go a different direction. And then you realize it could be just as simple as you didn't have to wait for a train for 10 minutes, but it could be that the train would have run over you. I mean, you
You
know
would
what
have
I'm
avoided
saying?
an accident or what
Yeah,
have you.
yeah.
Which, begs that question too. Does that mean the people who didn't get to avoid the accidents, that's a whole different rabbit hole to go down.
Ooh,
Nothing is deserved, but timing is different for everybody. And I do believe it's predetermined. I don't want to know what that date is
me
because I don't think
neither.
it's of my highest and greatest good to know,
Right.
but I know it's decided in my belief. It's decided.
And I think that's a good point, Tammy, because I do believe in past lives, but I believe if we could remember everything in our past lives, that our conscious minds could not handle that. So that's the reason we only get glimpses. And those glimpses are like deja vu moments where you look in somebody's eyes and you see their soul and you're like, I know this person, but yet you've never physically met them before. Or you go somewhere that you've never been and you think, oh my God, I've been here tons of times, but you've never been there before. So it's like we get glimpses, but I think if we knew everything, I don't think our physical bodies and minds could handle it. And it's the same with if we knew, and I believe the natal chart tells us everything. That if we really, really wanted to dig around enough, we could kind of figure out when we might go. I don't want to know.
Do not even on Facebook, those things where they're just quote unquote for fun, where it'll guess and it shows you your epitaph. No, thank you. Nope. Because I do know as a therapist the power of the mind in manifesting.
Yes.
Nope. No, thank you. Nope. Not that I'm afraid to die. I just don't need to know that much information because it would get in my head and my heart, and I would stop striving. And I don't believe that's my mission on this earth. I'm supposed to continue striving. And in my case, and I think yours too, Connie, is lifting people up, lifting them just
And
by being
wouldn't it
who we are, you
Wouldn't
know.
it be so hard if you knew that day, that minute, to continue to live? I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, some people know that they're about to die, they have a fatal diagnosis, and that's exactly what they do. But how many people do just the opposite? And they just say, well, I'm dying anyway. What the hell? You know?
I have read enough stuff and again, seen the power of the mind through working with people that one day, if I become terminally ill, I will ask the doctor not to give me a prognosis. I don't want to
Yeah.
know because it does get set in your mind. And I don't know if I would be strong enough to overcome that time or if I would give into it. At least a part of me would give into it. That's just me. Maybe other people are very different. That might give them the power, especially, that Mars, might give
Yeah.
them the power to strive and go, oh, yeah, let me show you. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. So, and
I
you
don't know
guys
if I
out
would
there who are
either.
listening and going, where in the world did all this stuff come from? I want to suggest that if you're still listening, there's a part of you that wants this information and is open to it. Agreed?
I do agree. So just so everybody, just give this some thought, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't try to talk anybody into anything,
No,
but
it doesn't usually work anyways.
no, it doesn't.
I think we learned during COVID, if nothing else, we learned that, you know,
Exactly.
just believe
Yes.
what you believe or follow your own, and it doesn't make other people wrong.
No, not
Never.
at all.
Trying
But
to talk people into your way of thinking will just create the resistance.
exactly. So, Tammy, can you see my soul? I mean, literally, can you see it?
Literally, can I see it? No. But I think I
Okay.
can because if you were laying in the coffin, you would look different.
Yeah. Okay. So,
That's probably not
but,
what you were shooting for,
but
but
But no, you can't see my soul. You can't see my thoughts, my faith, any of those things. But just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. And what I'm going for is that I don't think the soul dies when our physical body does.
no, man.
So, you can go the Christian route and go heaven or hell, or you can believe that the soul lives on and makes its journey back to earth to learn more lessons because the only way we can really learn lessons in life or learn how to evolve to a higher self is through the physical body. Because if when we're not in the physical body, we're not suffering through pain, we don't have hunger. We don't worry about our weight. It's like we don't worry about sex because we have no genitals. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's it's like so you
No
can't
earthly needs.
there's no earthly needs. So you can't see my soul, but I don't think my soul's gonna die when this body dies.
No, what I'm hearing you say is that at that point, I can have a Diet Coke.
You damn sure can.
That's a way to my heart. I'm telling you. Just kidding.
Yes, girl, you can have that Diet Coke.
I have to suffer through it. I'll just suffer through it.
Yes,
Heck, at that
absolutely.
point, maybe I could have Dr. Pepper. I'm not being sponsored by these products, but I'm open to the opportunity.
I think that is so cute. But what if, and I know you're not expecting this, um, so what if I took it one step further, what I've come to believe? And
Please.
by all means, I'm not political. I'm not even on Facebook. I don't
I'm
do
not
social.
expecting anything, so you just roll with it,
No,
honey. Roll with it.
I have come to believe that the earth is hell, that this
I would
is,
say that what is it, Earth School, they call it?
yeah, that this
Absolutely,
is
I'm gonna
where
agree.
the suffering happens. This is where little babies die of diseases. And this is where,
Violent measures.
yeah, it's like this is where we watch our loved ones die. And you know what? I'm being really light because I could get really nasty
You
with
go
this.
really dark. Yep.
I could get really dark with it in my thinking that possibly our own bodies are hell and our soul is trapped in that body, and then it releases and we have a choice to come back and experience more or to stay in the spiritual realm. Your
Yeah, and that's
listeners are probably like, what is this girl on?
well, you know what? I think that's part of what I want this to be about in general. The podcast is saying out loud what maybe nobody else does.
Yeah. I can't
And
believe
this is
you
the
haven't done
biggest
that
deal for me.
already, Tammy.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. Like saying it out loud, even if I don't agree with it, because I do believe in the power of saying stuff out loud.
Oh, me
That
too.
Mercury and Sag, man, let's do this thing. Let's do it.
Yes,
And maybe we'll make it
absolutely.
funny along the way, but maybe we won't. But we will get some awareness out of it, even if my awareness is, oh, I didn't believe that. That's
Yeah.
what I had before. I do believe what you're saying, though. I do
I
believe
mean,
that. I
like,
do.
what if, just what if our guides, the angels, spirit, they're all listening to what we say? And let's just pretend that they don't know the intentions of our heart. They're just listening to what we say. So when we speak a lot of negativity, and this, sorry guys, I'm going to the power of positive thinking here, that I think they hear that negative stuff and they're like, well, okay, we'll bring some negative. And I don't know that, but I do believe in the power of words, like you're saying.
Oh boy, big time power of words. I have a dear friend of mine who will say, don't be negative. And I'm like, I didn't know I was being negative, but what that person considers negative is saying out loud anything that's not positive. And so, it makes me think about it. Okay, is that negative or is it not? But it is the power of words.
Yeah,
It's speaking it into existence. Literally, there's a vibration to your words.
there is their energy.
Mhm.
They are. But one thing that I've really thought about was, okay, so quick story. When back in my very religious days, I was kind of in the faith movement, and I'm not making fun of anybody if you're in that.
Charismatic.
Yes, charismatic. If you're in that, not making fun of you, not even one bit.
No. Yeah.
But I'm saying, so I was really sick and like vomiting, sitting on the toilet sick. Okay.
Very.
So it's so sick. Yeah, that's kind of the worst sick for me. And I remember a member of that congregation saying to me, well, just start saying you're not sick. You're not sick. But let me tell you something. When you're sitting on the toilet and throwing up in the trash can at the same time, saying I'm not sick is kind of a lie. So it's like, that's not what I'm talking about with negative talking. It's more like, I mean, don't deny the physical facts if they're
Not
there.
toxic positivity.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's like
Yeah.
it puts me in mind of my old pastor. Love that man. He would say, you know what? Because we're, in the South a lot, we'll say, I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. He's
Oh,
like, well,
yeah.
I can pray for you all day, but if you're hungry, I need to give you a sandwich. You know,
Yes, Tammy.
reality, reality.
That's it. Because what have you ever heard that saying? They're so spiritual, they're no earthly good, or they're so
Haven't
heavenly.
heard that. I like it. I got to look it up.
Oh, I can't think of the exact saying, but they would say, like, oh, he's so oh, this is it. He's so heavenly minded, he's no earthly good.
Oh, reminds me again, I'm getting all this coming in. My grandmother used to say, I'd say, I wish I blah blah blah, and she'd go, wish in one hand, poop in the other, see which one fills up first. In other words, get busy doing something.
Yeah,
You
no.
can wish all you want.
Right. And it is so cool because the words might take a different, like, I'm kind of old school. I'm kind of old. But and so I may not say the same things on that they say on TikTok, but a lot of it means the exact same thing.
I think I don't have anything to base this on, but it feels like we're rolling back. There is a desire to hear the old stuff.
Yeah.
I'm at a pretty big charter school. I mean, when I say big, it's like 3,000.
Oh,
And
that's a
I
lot.
noticed the kiddos, I'll be out on the playground hanging out with them, and they have all these kids they could play with, and they want to hang out and talk to me
Yeah.
or talk to some of the other, the teachers. And it's really cool, but I think there's a desire for that old way.
Voice.
I know I'm considered old way of thinking for them.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sure I'm old way thinking anyway, Saturn. But
Oh my gosh. But to add to that, have you like I watch Good Morning America, and all of a sudden, flip phones and even landlines are coming back into. It's like these young kids are wanting to do the old school things. It's like, what?
And to add to that, the federal law that went into effect, what was it, September 1? I think it's September 1, maybe before that, where no cell phones allowed in school at all. They can get
Yeah.
charged. And I have not heard one complaint. I'm sure there's been complaints out there, but not one complaint have I heard in all the kids I'm around.
Girl,
So
here's
it's
a
gotta be sad.
quarter. Call someone who cares. I remember payphones, you know?
Save a quarter or save a dime, save a quarter in case
Yeah.
you went out on that first date.
Yeah.
You
It
don't
was
have
like
to call
what
home
it was
for a
a
ride. Yeah.
I'm not a big country music fan, but Travis Tritt had a song that said, "Here's a quarter, call someone
Call
who
someone who
cares."
cares.
Yeah, it's 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 that kind of thing. Oh, so let me ask you about this. I'd be interested to hear what your listeners think about this. But so I'm in the state of Florida, and they are um, getting rid of they're not getting rid of vaccinations, but they're getting rid of mandatory vaccinations for, all
Yeah, it's
school
big on the
children.
news, Florida. Yeah.
And so this is what I told my husband when I was listening to it. I said, these people, a lot of them, I had two aunts, one from my dad's side, one from my mother's side, that had polio. And I said, I said, they both walk with a stoop since I was growing up. And so some of these diseases that there's vaccines for, do we really want those to come back? I have mixed feelings about it. So I'm asking you, what is your opinion?
I hadn't thought much about it as you talk. My maternal, I don't know what she is, my mom's cousin. So second, third removed or something, but
Yeah,
she was horribly crippled by polio.
yeah,
And she finally died at a very, I would say, probably in her 40s, which is very young, I think, by anybody's standard.
absolutely.
And
People
so,
don't remember the horrors of these diseases because we haven't had them.
yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, not just that. That's a big part of it, but I'm scared about a lot of things. A
Yeah,
lot of things that are happening. Um, um, so I wasn't in country for all that big conversation, discussion. I remember flying in from Bahrain, Middle East, where they were being studied for how well they handled COVID, well being eradicating the numbers, and flying home just for a couple of weeks to visit and flying in. And there, not only did you have to wear, unless you were in your home, a mask was on your face. So there were people driving around in cars alone with their mask on. There was no discussion. If you didn't agree with it, didn't like it, leave. But that's how serious it was. In a lot of the countries, that's exactly what it was like. And flying into US for a couple of weeks and flying into the airport and walking around and nobody had mask on. And I was just like, what? What? Now, I'm not saying I was pro mask, anti mask. It was just, I started to question being in countries where you do what you're told. Now, I do believe the US is in the forefront of fighting against things they don't agree with and leading the way with that. And there's a lot of beautiful things about that. I think a lot, in fact, I know around the world everybody watches US. I used to think that because it's because they wanted to be here. No, everybody watches US on the news.
I
And I
agree.
think we are examples in some ways, but in this area, I felt anxious coming into the country and nobody was wearing any mask, and it was like it was an afterthought.
Yeah.
Blew
But
me
I,
away.
I agree with you because I have not had the privilege of traveling to all of the countries that you've been to and experiencing the actual culture in these other countries. But I do have a lot of clients that are from all over the world, and truly they do watch what the US does. And I think some of them kind of laugh in our face, like, really?
In Germany, I remember them stopping me and saying, "No, don't let this stuff happen." And I'm like, "Perhaps you assume that I have a lot more power than I do."
Right?
And that's Germans, okay? Not saying,
Yeah,
just saying. That's Germans saying that. Don't let that.
yeah.
So, Miss Connie,
I don't know why I got into that vaccine thing, but I think there is because
needed
I'm
to be said. It needs to be, there's enough discussion out there, but we're supposed to be part of that. And you're asking me makes me, I'll go and process and think about it more and figure out what my opinion is. Because let's face it, I have privilege to not have really thought about it. I have a privilege.
yeah.
So I need to
Oh,
figure out what I think.
what a great point. But so has every generation after us, basically, because they have not had to think about
Mumps,
smallpox,
Bella.
diphtheria, mumps, um, measles. You know, I could truly go whooping cough. I mean, some of these things are making a resurgence, and people are seeing what horrible diseases. Okay, let me say this. God, I feel like Spirit just gave me this. And I just want to tell everybody, I'm not saying one way or the other because
You're
I
just putting
do,
it out there to
I'm
be
just putting
discussed,
it
to be
out there
thought about.
because I believe in freedom to do what you want to with your own body and the body of your children. I don't think the government should tell you what to do. However, is it not a law that we have our pets have rabies shots
Good point.
for a reason?
Mhm.
What is that reason? Because if a rabid bat, dog, cat, raccoon bites you, the series of shots and the torture that you go through is horrible. And if you don't do it, you die. I mean, the percentages are not very big. And this just happened in Florida. So, I mean, I just actually was reminded. So, if our animals have to be vaccinated so rabies doesn't spread, do we really want a resurgence of smallpox and
I'm gonna go
polio?
look up the WHO, World Health Organization, and find out their takes on all of this.
Yeah. But I just wanted to know your opinion, and I like it that you feel like you need to sit with it and think about it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, I have privilege just to have not. I avoid news,
Yeah.
uh, just to hold on to my own vibration. And I'm
Yeah.
very Chiron in the eighth, very impressionable. In Pisces, I'm very impressionable and affected. And so I do try to keep that vibration higher. However, I do need to have some clear ideas about how I feel about these things. So thank you for bringing that up, Connie Jo.
Oh, I want to say you're welcome, but I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a lot, isn't it? And I'm not even sure
We're living in a lot, though.
why did Spirit bring that up for me? Maybe because I can't get the picture of my Aunt Billy or my Aunt Charlotte out of my mind and how polio, excuse me, really affected them. And I'm thinking, why in the hell would we want to go back to those days? And if people don't have their children vaccinated that travel to countries that these diseases still exist, that's what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Absolutely. And
oh,
I am, both of us are governed by Saturn. And that's the part of me that says, I don't want to wait until it happens to learn from it. I'd much rather
yeah,
pay the piper ahead of time.
I would too, Tammy. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not really political and I'm not asking anybody to believe.
You've never brought up politics with me before, and I've
I
known
am,
you 3 or 4 years now.
I know. I'm open to all points of view, but I don't know why Spirit keeps bringing that back up in me. I think probably it's that visualization of knowing that if some of these diseases come back into the US, it's going to be a real problem.
Well, I can tell you, I can speak personally to before going to the Middle East, before going to Turkey, before there was a potential of me going to Africa as well. I didn't, but all the shots that were required was for a reason. For
Absolutely. You are so right. It's just like if you step on a rusty nail, you get a tetanus shot. Why? Because tetanus is a nasty disease.
I don't think there's any survivors of it, actually.
No,
That's why they double dog check. But you need to have it every 10 years, you guys. Not my rules, but there is no known
mine
survivors.
either.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
mean,
I have a friend whose mother just died. It turned out from several things, but West Nile, the ripe old age of 72. And I don't care whose standard it is, that's not old. It's looking younger all the time.
no, it's not
So,
old at all.
but not to awfulize and scare people, but just to,
No.
you know,
And if you're in the state of Florida and Tammy gets comments, let me know what you think. I'm open.
that. Well, how would
Totally.
people, yes, they can definitely message me. Do you want to share your site for readings, or I'll also link it with your permission? Um,
Absolutely. So they can go to soulnavigation.com and my email is conniejo.soulnavigation.com. And I would love to hear what other people have to say to give them a reading, whatever. Um,
yeah.
again, you know, believe it or not, I want to learn more. And other
Oh,
that's
you
how you
embody
know.
that. You do. What's your
Oh,
Mercury in?
Capricorn.
Okay.
I'm very to the point. I'm very factual. Just
Well, I think it's also that Mercury and Capricorn is you're willing to do all the work in order to learn, and you're meant to be a teacher as well. So
uh, that is so sweet.
thank you for helping to educate today. And I'm hoping this will be out there for a long time with people watching it. And again, agree or disagree, guys. I'm open to all the comments. I know Connie Joe is too. Um, it feels like our guides have systematically pushed us out there
Yeah, I
and said,
agree.
it's time to shine. It's time to do what you need to do. And I just
Yeah.
got a message this past weekend of, it's time, Tammy Lynn. It's time.
I love it.
I knew exactly what it meant. I'm
Uh,
like, okay, let's do this thing. So thank you for helping me shake up the status quo and for, as always, blessing me and now the audience. Thank you,
Tammy,
Connie Joe, and thank you, everybody.
thank you for being my soul sister, girl.
Back at you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Let me know what you think. I'll get Connie any kind of messages and reach out to her. She is definitely worth the cost, which is not that high. So thank you.